Hi there, extraordinary thinkers. Lee Travathan back again. And so are you. So thank you for coming back. Before we get too involved in this series that we're doing about how you can create more happiness in your life, 12 simple ways you can do that, based on extraordinary thinking, go down below and click the little bell so you get notified every time a video goes up, always on Sundays, sometimes more, and click the bell so you get notified. Otherwise, you will not get notified. So if you happen to get here, you happen to get here, but otherwise, you won't know. So do that and hit the subscribe. And when the video is going or sometime after it, just put a comment to let me know you were here and what you thought of this video, and did you get value for your time? It's the only reason I'm here. I've been a coach for 42 years, a psychologist as well, done radio, television, written books, over a couple hundred blogs. Last count, I think it was lots and lots of blogs, but I'm sure it's more than what I'm saying, but I've kind of done it all, and I kind of have been in the trenches on almost every possible human situation imaginable. Things you probably couldn't even imagine. And I've always dealt with those using extraordinary thinking, which is a methodology that I discovered and started to sort of create a discipline out of, I guess, a thought process out of, to help people to find more happiness into their lives and also to improve their lives in other ways as well, just in self-assurance and things like that. So I've got my little cheat sheet, my little notes here today so that I don't forget anything. So be sure you go back and look at the last two videos before this one. In fact, at the end, I'll do my little magic trick and put some videos up, and I may put those up. But that way you're keeping on top of the series. And always watch the videos to the end because it hurts the channel's retention rate when you don't do that on any channel. So just a heads up on that. Most people don't know that. Also, please subscribe if you are enjoying this. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of views on this channel and less than 500 subscribers, and I am working to build this channel, so if you could help me out on that, I'd really appreciate it. But really only subscribe if this actually means something to you. This channel is not, I repeat, not for people who want to remain in the modality of ordinary thinking. If you're happy there, I don't see how you can be, but if you are, then stay there. This is not for you. But if you are one of those people like I was, and so many thousands of people I've helped also have been, where you just knew something wasn't right, you just knew there was something more, and you just knew there was a reason why you didn't seem to kind of fit in this world. You weren't supposed to. It's like putting a square peg in a round hole. It's not going to fit at all. It's not supposed to. You actually came here, in my opinion, to overcome ordinary thinking, not to fall into it, because it comes with a whole lot of baggage. And if you just look around or even turn the TV on for 10 minutes and watch the news, you will see what that baggage looks like. So this series is all about, even though it's under the heading of the Tender Art of Extraordinary Thinking, it really is, there's 12 videos that are all really about you being able to create more happiness in your life. But in order for you to do that, you have to understand why it's not there. For you to be able to understand why it's not there, one thing you need to do is find out who and what you truly are beyond all of the lies you've been told, because you've been told plenty of them. So I did write this little book for you. The link for it will be below. It does have 2 companion books that go with it, and it does have an audio book that goes with it, and it's called Love Beyond Compare. And it explains to you the 10 birthrights you probably never even knew you had, probably never knew you could access, but they're yours. And they have always been yours. And they are what create you as an extraordinary being. They're in you. You can't escape them. They're there. But you probably don't know they're there. So I would suggest you get the book or the audio book, whichever one you like, and really dive into it. All right? So now we're going to dive into the content. I need my glasses. I'm going to be 66 tomorrow. Oh my. So I need these, specs here. These are actually my granny specs. My granddaughter calls them my granny specs. So we're just going to put granny specs because they match my shirt. Funny stuff I do, okay? So anyway, we are now going to talk about one way that you can, a very simple way that you can find more happiness in your life. And it's not going to be something you maybe like, but it's going to be something you need to look at. And that is that you need to let go of the excuses. Yes, I said that. The excuses that you have for yourself and for other people around you. Sorry, my cameraman just told me that was making noise, so I hope you didn't hear that too loudly. It probably sounded like this. Sorry, just had to do that. I have to make him laugh or he won't keep working for me, right? So you have to let go of the excuses that you have for yourself and others. Why? Because you can't be happy. You are not going to be happy if you have a load of excuses for yourself and others. You can't even imagine how many people have come into my office over the years, especially when I had a group practice where I had other people in there. And, I'd hear this sometimes as they were walking and talking. They'd be saying the same thing to their therapist. It's like, oh, well, I did this because they did that, or blah, blah, blah. Or, oh, I was just raised that way, so that's why I do it that way. Or, there's just, my dad used to say that some people have more excuses than they have brains. It's like one of his other sayings was, this is when there used to be a little, I think it was an aspirin called Chocs, C-H-O-C-K-S, I think it was. They were very popular for a while, and he used to say, some people have more excuses than Chocs has pills. And of course, it's funny to think about that, but it's true. So the deal is this series is about 12 simple things that you can do to make yourself happier. So think about it. Can you be happy and have a boatload of excuses? And you've met people, maybe you're one of them, you've met people, they've got an excuse for everything. Everything. They've got a rationalization for everything. They have a justification for everything. And in most cases, they're never responsible. It's always this or that or someone else or this thing or that thing or, whatever. I've had so many people come into my office over the years, plump down in the chair in front of me and just look at me and go, I'm so unhappy. That's why I'm here. I'm so unhappy. And my first question is, why are you unhappy? I don't know. Well, you got to know. Always, these were the same people that sat in that same chair for probably a half an hour, made a ton of excuses for themselves about why they couldn't be happy. It just wasn't possible. So-and-so over there keeps bugging them, and this neighbor's making noise, and the dog over there's barking in them, whatever. There's always an excuse why you can't be happy, and that's all it is. It's an excuse. The reality is you can be happy anytime you want to be happy. Okay? Anytime you want to be happy. It is a choice. Are there emotions involved? Oh, yeah. So someone recently said to me, well, if I'm feeling bad, how can you say that I can be happy? And I had to laugh out loud. And of course, I took it from the framework of extraordinary thinking, because that's just what I do. But my response was, be happy that you can feel. Jesus, be happy that you can feel. You can feel. You are a lot if you can feel. She didn't appreciate that too much. But she got it. She got it. It took a day, and she finally got it and went, oh, wow. I was like making an excuse for myself, wasn't I? And I said, yep, that's what we're trained to do. But the thing is you don't have to do what you were trained to do. So really hear that loudly. You don't have to do what you were trained to do. So let me get my specs back on. Be Professor Lee here. All right, let's make sure we don't miss anything. I want to note, and you know it, you might not think about it much, but it's really important that you do. Excuses really drag you down. Excuses drag you down. They are like weights. You might as well put an anvil on your head and walk around. They are like weights. They are like you're carrying a burden, literally. And sometimes you've even heard them called baggage. Excuses really do drag you down. So again, let go of excuses that you have for yourself and others. Okay, there's a reason why there's a high value in letting go. The value is that if you have excuses about yourself and others, you shift your vibrational content. That means you shift your vibrational IQ. That means you are now operating at a very low vibration. And if you studied any of my work at all, or the work of my mentor, Bob Proctor, who I'm a coach for, you will know vibration is kind of everything. If you are not in a high vibration, you draw into your life the things that are in the low vibration. If you are in a high vibration, you draw into your life the things that are in a high vibration. So since I'm a goals coach and success coach and I work with people on big goals, it's really important that they keep the vibration high. That means don't dishonor your emotions. Look at them as lessons, as clues, as parts of the breadcrumb trail, and find out what they're trying to tell you. But then get the message and move on. You can be unhappy and just be happy that you're unhappy because you're feeling something. I know it sounds strange, but you can do it. Okay, and the last part of this is to understand what excuses are, what they truly are. They are you basically expecting perfection without knowing that's what you're expecting. And when you don't get it, you make an excuse for yourself and others. Now that's not particularly on you always. That's the way our society is set up. And it's ridiculous. That's why I don't believe in ordinary thinking. But if you understand that excuses are a form of delusion as well as illusion, you can be more willing to let them go. So just ask yourself, if you went through an entire day, a whole day, where you just did not make any excuses for yourself or anyone else, not one, what do you think would change? I'm going to wager a guess it'd be pretty significant, because I've had people test this out. I really have, and it really is significant. So, long story short, you can't have happiness if you've got a boatload of excuses. Even if you have one or two common excuses that you use all the time, one of the most common is, well, I'm just like that. No, you're not. That's just how you choose to be. So my cameraman just reminded me a little bit ago, there's one thing I probably should say, and that is, and I'm going to qualify it so you know what I'm saying, you can only be the experience of yourself. You can be just the experience of yourself. You can't be anyone else's experience. You can only be your own experience. You can only be your own experience of yourself. When we think that we have to make up an excuse, it's because we're thinking, even unconsciously, that we have to be some experience for some person out there, or the world in general, that's acceptable. But the reality is we can only be the experience of ourselves. We can only be our own experience. That's all we can be. We can't know what other people are thinking. We're not them. We can't control what they're thinking. We're not them. We can only be us. And we can only be our experience of ourselves. And if we can do that, then we don't feel such a need to make excuses for ourselves or other people. One of the most common excuses people do is if they have children and their children are, say, misbehaving or something, they make an excuse for their children. Instead of just saying, oh yeah, misbehaving. That's what kids do, misbehaving. No, they say, oh, well, he did that because, or she did that because. It's all going to weigh you down. So if you want to let go of the baggage and you need some help, let me be your coach. My information to contact me is down below. Or you can simply go to leetravathan.com and go to the contact page and you can send me a message there. That'll work as well. But if you need some help, don't just stew in this stuff. Get help. If not me, somebody else, but get the help you need to move forward. And start to watch more of these videos, start to understand what extraordinary thinking is and what ordinary thinking is, and why extraordinary thinking always works. It's completely predictable, always works better than ordinary thinking. And then ask yourself, do you want to be an ordinary thinker? Do you want to be an extraordinary thinker? I just recently heard someone who is a big fan of, what's her name, Esther Hicks, who channels Abraham, said, oh, kind of Abraham's saying what you're saying, except Abraham says you get to be either a sloppy thinker or you're thinking on purpose. Kind of the same thing. It is true. So you can be a conscious creator, but in order to be a conscious creator, you do need to learn how to be an extraordinary thinker. So again, if you need help with that, let me know. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is up here, I'm going to put up a couple of videos that can keep you on your path and lead you to even a greater distance than you have been here. Be sure to go back and watch the other videos and check these out. And until next time, Lee Travathan signing off. Stay extraordinary. Can't be anything less. Gotcha. Bye.